I wanted to show you something. A couple of weeks ago, I brought in my bay bush, my bay laurel tree, and I love it so much. And it was getting cold, and these things are very cold sensitive, and I really want to save this thing through the winter. So I brought it in, and I just bought this in the summer, and it's not that big yet. These things grow quite slowly, in fact, but I really didn't want to lose it, so I brought it in, and I've been keeping it upstairs next to a really sunny window, and trying not to give it too much water because it doesn't really need a lot of water through the winter. But so far it looks really good, and I love this thing so much. I think bay is it's starting to be my favorite herb. I just think it's this like a Mediterranean like beauty plant, and it just reminds me of a lot of like smells from like my kitchen when I was growing up with my parents. My mother used a lot of bay. I mean, you would use it in Italian cooking, and she, especially it reminds me of the smell of her bechamel sauce when she was making, like a meat lasagna, like with a ragu, and she'd always like cook up, the milk and the flour and butter and throw bay leaves in, and I think maybe nutmeg also, but that smell would come wafting up, and it was like nothing I'd ever smelled before, and it just was like it's an incredibly beautiful thing, and I've always tried to figure out what I think bay smells like, and it's really kind of hard to describe because to me, I guess the closest I could come is that it's sort of a mix between, I would say, allspice and maybe vanilla, or nutmeg and vanilla, but I think more complicated than just nutmeg, so maybe allspice and vanilla. I mean, that's my thought, and I just, other people would have other things to say about it, but I mean, that's what I get in my head and what I smell when I work with and cook with bay, and this is like a beautiful real bay laurel bush, and this is what you want to use for culinary purposes. I mean, there is another bay that you sometimes find at grocery stores. There's like a California bay that sometimes if you go into a grocery store and get like a little package of bay leaves, and if you notice they're really like long and skinny, don't buy those. They should be like sort of like this, sort of rounded and pointy, because the California bay, the long skinny ones, they're not good to cook with. To me, they taste like, they give off an aroma of sort of like eucalyptus. It's kind of that smell, which is kind of harsh, and it doesn't have any of that warm vanilla kind of feeling that I like so much. So just so you know, I mean, I don't see that very often anymore, but sometimes when I buy packages of bay leaves, like these are from a package in the supermarket. I just got these a couple of days ago, but these are real bay leaves. You can see by their shape. But occasionally I do go in and see those little the old plastic packages, and they have these skinny little, and I know they're just, you don't want those. Just saying. So yeah, and so I think the first thing I wanted to make and show you. I mean, you could do so much with bay leaf. I mean, my parents used it so much when I was a kid. I mean, they would go into tomato sauces. They would go into like mushroom ragu kind of things. They would go into, ragu sauces, meat sauces for like lasagnas and stuff like I was talking about before, but it went into the sauce, and then it also went into the bechamel. So it's like a really bay scented sauce, and I'm happy with that. I think this is really one of the nature's beauty items. And you could do so much with it. Like, for instance, I'm just going to show you a thing I really love is to make like a simple syrup with bay leaves. And, you could use this for so many different things. But I like making cocktails with it, but I can show you some other things too. But basically, it's so easy. You just want to, it's a simple syrup like, you would make for for any bar. And you just put some sugar, and we get some water, and a little water. Probably about half and half, I would say. That looks about right. And get it going. And then throw a couple of bay leaves in. Actually, more than a couple, maybe about 4. And what I like to do with bay leaves for this purpose is to rip them a little bit. Because if you rip them, oh my God, it smells so good. You really get a lot of those oils out, and they start to season this sugar right away. The thing about bay that's so amazing also is that it like gives up its aroma readily to liquid and heat. So here, this is, water and sugar, but yeah, that'll just needs to heat up a bit. But you could also do this with cream, like the same thing. No sugar, just put cream in a pan and bay leaves and heat it, and then bring it to a boil, then turn it off and let it steep. And I love this. I actually make bay leaf ice cream, and I use that as a base for that, which is really delicious. I mean, bay leaf is so weird because you can use it for savory things, you can use it for sweet things. I mean, this is obviously a sweet thing. And once this gets into a rolling boil, and what you want to do is just dissolve the sugar, and you bring it to a boil, and then turn it off, cover it, and just let it steep for about 10 minutes or so, and you'll get good flavor. And you could keep this for a long time to use it for various things. I use it for poaching fruit. Sometimes I just do this bay leaf syrup thing, and then put some wine in it, and then get it all hot and bubbly and everything, and then just throw fruit like peaches or something in there, and just turn off the heat and let the peaches, just like steam through, and that's really, really delicious. And here we go, it's starting to boil now. And another thing you can make that with if you're going to do the cream version of this, use it as a base for like a bay leaf creme brulee, which is unbelievable. I mean, that has got the most haunting, delicious flavor. I mean, creme brulee is beautiful on its own, but if you add the bay leaf element to it, I think it's just something incredibly special. So let's just let that go for a bit. I'm gonna let this go for a bit. And I just wanted to show you a couple other things I made with bay leaf. This is a thing I make sometimes. When I first learned how to make this baked ricotta with bay leaves, I couldn't believe I learned about this, because I love bay leaf, I love ricotta, and it just seemed like it was going to be the perfect thing. And I learned about making this. See, it just by a Bugali book, Giuliano Bugali, who has a book on Sicilian cooking, and that book is really beautiful. And one of the recipes that really caught my eye, like years and years ago when I first bought that book, was this baked regatta. And what it is you put bay leaves all around the bottom and around the sides, and then you whip regatta with eggs, and I think I put a little bit of nutmeg in here and salt and pepper. And in his recipe, he put in some olive paste, which you can certainly do, but I kind of like mine pure. So let me just show you what goes on here. So yeah, I mean, look at that. It's nice and firm, and you can see there's bay leaves all around, and there's also bay leaves on the bottom, and it really smells like bay leaves. It's incredible. This stuff just permeates the whole cheese. And I think actually Bugali said in his book, he said, there's so much bay leaf in this thing that it would be an acquired taste for a lot of people. Well, I definitely acquired it. So I'm going to serve this later. With some bread and some olives and stuff, and it's a beautiful appetizer thing. So got that there, and it is really gorgeous. I mean, you should smell this. I mean, bay leaves are amazing. I mean, you know, you can't really chop these up and use them and throw them on a salad or something. It's going to be nothing, plus they're kind of tough. But, you know, they just release all this beauty when you heat them and or put them in hot liquid, especially. And let me show you another thing. Oh, let's check the syrup. Oh, see, look, this is looking good. This is really all you want here. I mean, yeah, it smells incredible. It smells amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off and cover it a little and just let it steep here for a couple minutes. And then later on I'll show you something really nice that I do with it. Okay, bay leaves, yeah. Bay leaves, yeah. I love bay leaves, as you can see. So another thing I made about an hour ago, I put a chicken in the oven, and this is another thing that I just love. And if you really want to get like a really big hit of bay leaf, I mean, make this. Seriously, this is great. This is a roast chicken with bay leaves stuffed under the skin. It's really easy to do that, actually. You just do this, and you could just loosen up the skin and both sides. And I did a couple over here too, and I shoved a couple in there. Yeah, and then, I mean, when it's cooking, it's just the whole house smelled like heaven. And then actually inside, I stuffed more bay leaves and also some thyme and a whole like garlic head in here, chopped up, like halved actually. Garlic is an amazing partner for bay. I mean, it is just sort of like the most beautiful combination. And thyme too. Thyme and bay leaf is very nice together, as is like, I often cook, when I'm making like a ragu or something, I often use like rosemary and bay together as well. And it's also a fabulous thing. So this is going to be my dinner tonight, and it looks good. And see, I've got all these nice juices here. So what I'll do later is make this, you know, do something with these and make up like this bay leaf scented gravy, really, because it really is. I mean, you can. Oh my God, it smells so good. So, and this chicken. Not only is this chicken stuffed with bay leaves, but this chicken is a beauty in its own right. There's this new farm in our neighborhood. I live up in Rhinebeck, and there's a place called Red Fox Farm Slow Fox Farm. Oh, sorry, it's a Red Fox Farm. Slow Fox Farm that just opened up a farm stand, and they do their own chickens. I mean, I don't know what they do to these chickens to make them so delicious, but they're amazing, and they're really rich tasting. They taste like a chicken that I never had that you expect to have when you're younger and you don't have, because the chickens I had when I was younger were like horrible supermarket chickens. And this chicken, I mean, I think I know why they're so good. They let them run around their farm, and they're delicious. And so that's for my dinner later. Excuse me. So let's see how this is doing. So here's our bay leaf syrup. It's a little hot at the moment. I mean, but I want to make you a drink that I love. What I would have done is cooled this down for a couple of hours, and then let this and then take the bay leaves out, and then use it for like a whatever. But here's something I really love, and I'll just use it the way it is. It'll be fine. I love bay leaf and rum together. I think it's like magical, fabulous combination. So what I love to make is, I think we'll get this first. The beautiful, is it gonna break the glass? Is it? Oh my God, I hope not. I'll just use a little. This is not gonna be I'm gonna put ice in this too. Oh my God. That should do it. That's enough. Okay. So here's my bay leaf syrup, and it's rum. Oh, it's a lot of rum. That's good. and some ice cubes. Get some ice cubes. See, this will cool it right down, right? And yeah, and then just a little seltzer. Oh, beauty. Not too much seltzer. You want a nice strong drink here. And I don't know, I had, I was thinking mint and bay leaf is also a really great combination. It's very Sicilian in flavor. I mean, a lot of in Sicily, they use a lot of bay leaf. I mean, I remember going and having get on with this, but not to digress. But remember having like a Sicilian couscous in Trapani years ago, and the whole thing was flavored with. It's not like a Moroccan couscous that has a lot of spices in it. The whole thing was flavored with bay leaf and just a cinnamon stick, and it was like so incredibly intense. And so what was my point? I don't know. Oh, I was just I was just it just made me think of that. But anyway, orange and bay leaf and rum are a very good combination. Oh, and I know what I was gonna put maybe some mint in it, but my mint froze overnight, so I don't have any of that. But anyway, I'm just gonna taste this. It's nice and cold. Okay. Oh my God, so good. Tastes like bay. Tastes like summer, even though it's November. Oh God, I love bay so much. I hope you guys like this, and I hope you cook with it. I mean, I want to talk to you more about bay leaf. At some we will revisit this.